Hey, good evening. Glad to see everybody on tonight. Um, Checking out, trying a different process here. I'm trying to use some um, audio equipment, maybe get on a guest or two, come on and chat with me while I create. Uh, Generally members of my playtesting team. But we're going to go ahead and get into uh, rifle talents. That's where we kind of left off the other day, and I'm excited about this. We got really far with rifle talents, came up with several ideas, and we're going to start materializing them into the actual talent section now. Uh, Pretty strong showing of ideas. Looking for a couple more, and they may generate as we go. So that is going to be useful as we move along. I have taken some notes that are on my tablet, which is in the house. I'll probably have to run in and grab it here, and we'll wait a bit for that. All right. So that being said, um, if let's see. All right, just checking, making sure everything's copacetic. All right. So moving on, our rifle talents. All right. So the first one we added, not the first one we added, but the first one on this list in alphabetical order, is called Battlefield Zero. All right. The concept is you're going to gain a +2 talent bonus to attack rolls after suffering a miss. All right. So this helps you hone in for your next attack. All right. So we're going to go ahead and just copy. It does not have a cross use. We left it on rifles, and that empowers rifles, and it's an inexpensive. It's an inexpensive one at that. But it does take rifles 3 to get it. All right, so you would spend 1 point on it to gain that. Might even be a lot. You know what? I'm just going to shift it to it's a +2 talent bonus. That's a pretty big bonus in any walk. All right, so what I'm going to do is not going to cross use it. At least the thought is not yet. And we're going to go with Battlefield Zero is the name of it. All right, and now our text. Let me zoom it out a little bit. Not too much. All right. The text here, I will write that in later, just so you guys don't fall asleep. I know I have to go back and do some. All right. The requirements are Rivals 3. Hey, how convenient that it was there. The cost, that's funny. The cost is going to be 2 talent points. So if you're just joining us and you really haven't understood how talent points work, I'll just kind of walk through it real quick. Talent points are talents are special abilities or feats that your character can do that make you better than other players who don't have those feats, all right, or those talents. That being said, I was a big fan of Dungeons and Dragons 3.5, aka Pathfinder. You know that whole era there. The amount of feats that you could take in some cases, you could always build on your character, was always exceptional. So what the goal would be is to get the best talents or the best feats back in D&D. Well, you know what? Unfortunately, you only had so many selections, and you were usually like must-haves. Like if you're a great sword fighter, that's like my best example. You would always take power attack and cleave because, first of all, power attack was a prerequisite for cleave. Why would you not take it if you were a great sword fighter? Well, if in GunCraze we made that made some variability in what you'll take because they cost different points. So you're like, oh man, I have 7 points. Well, I could buy this one 4 point and this one 3 point, or I could buy these several 1 points and a 2 point and now have all these extra talents. So talents are superior in that way where they have a certain value. All right. So moving on from there, so the cost is the value, and you gain these points every time you gain a power level. You gain a certain amount of talent points, and as you rank up, as you have more power levels, you gain more. It scales up, so going from 1 to 2 in a rank of something will gain you 1, but going from 6 to 7 will gain you 2, and going from like 15 to 16 will gain you like 3 or 4. And there's a chart, and I can walk you to that chart, but I'm going to finish this first. All right, so combo talents. These are kind of other talents that work with this talent. What it is in this case, it's going to be a large list. I'm going to go ahead and redline that, or read that out, because I'm going to have to wait till I'm done with all the talents before I go back and find what talents I'm going to allow to stack with this. All right. So some talents make sense that they work together, and other talents don't necessarily make sense. And I wanted to give the players a chance to, like, hey, look, I can see what other talents I could get from here. Kind of help you with building the character. All right. All right, so what I'm going to do is just copy the summary that we made. I'm going to copy it right over this portion here. And then I'm going to fill it in just a little bit. I'm going to do this while you guys hang with me. All right. All right. Let's see. With a rifle. All right. After missing an attack, with a rifle, you gain a +2 talent bonus to attack roll on the following attack. All right. Now I have to kind of expand on this, because I don't want people to understand that this lasts. It has to have a certain distance. Like, all right, before battle, I'm going to shoot into the air and miss, so I automatically have a +2 the first time I take a shot. Obviously, that's not the case. This bonus only lasts until the next combat round, character turn. Words, right? Words matter. The bonus only lasts until your next character turn. And can only be used to attack the same target that was... This bonus, let's see, on the following attack. All right, so that's very +2 to the very following attack, the next attack, to your next attack. That's important too. Attack roll on your next attack. I don't want it to be confused. Like, oh, I'm gonna wait till my last attack. It's a following attack. No, on your next attack. All right. This bonus only lasts until your next character turn and can only be used to attack the same target that the miss happened on. Boy, that sounds like horrible English. Same target that let's see, we'll attack the same target. The same target. Words. This is not too hard. Just got to think in English, right? Can only be used to attack the same target that you missed. I mean, that's... I'm going to type that. I'll probably play with it later. That was previously... That the previous attack missed. There we go. Pro, let's go. Missed. All right, sweet. So we have a talent, Battlefield 0. And that concept I think is strong for the rifle. I am not going to give that a cross use. All right, that is going to be for the rifle user. So we'll go ahead and black that one out. Again, I have some red that I need to finish on my off time, which I'll get caught up. All right, so now we're going to do center mass. Center mass was a fun one that we came up with. All right. And we're going to use Battlefield 0. Center mass does have a cross use, so I do want to kind of copy some of this cross use stuff. All the way to requirements. All right, so it's all about format, keeping your format going. All right. So for those of you joining me, this is GunCraze. It's a role-playing game. It's a tabletop role-playing game currently in development. The reason why I'm streaming is hopefully that you on the outside will go ahead and chime in and say, you know, add your thoughts, add your opinions, you know, good, bad, or indifferent. Obviously respectful is always encouraged. You can do that also by posting on YouTube where I post this at. You can always hit me up personally on Facebook, Instagram, on Twitter, X. Just shoot me a message or drop a line in there, and I'll try to get back to you as soon as I can. I do have a normie job, so there is some times where I'm not always available, but moving on. So this one is going to be called Center Mass, and I think this is probably one of my favorite new talents that I've come up with. All right. So the concept is a person when you learn to shoot, all right, hitting the target is always preferred over shooting the target in the head. I'm like, what? Oh my gosh, I can't believe you said that. No. A hit is a hit, right? If you have 10 rounds and you aim for the head and you miss 8 times, but if you target the torso and you hit 8 times, and one of those hits happened to be a neck shot, then you're doing way better than the guy who tried to hit the guy in the head 10 times. All right. Yes, a headshot is always great, but there's also something up there protecting people's heads. What is that? The helmet, right? The Kevlar helmet, any type of beefy helmet. Usually, the strongest piece of armor on the guy is on his head. So that being said, you know, center mass shots are very important. You know, you want to hit the target to at least daze him, maybe break his armor. All right, and that's the same thing with when you're a rifle user, you learn how to fire center mass in the military. All right, so the goal is you're basically going to eliminate any rolling for location, and it's going to be a roll to 6, and you're going to ignore any hit modifiers to the hit roll. Okay, so it's going to be a straight 6, which means if you shoot a guy with a shield, it's almost always going to hit his shield. All right, it's not going to not hit his shield. All right, center mass is going to hit generally the torso or the shield if there's one in front of it. Okay, so let's walk through the requirements for this. You do learn this pretty early, so it's going to be rifles. You do have to have 1 rank in rifles. Okay, the cost for this is going to be 2 talent points, and then cross use. What is cross use? Cross use means, let's say you're a rifle user and you're like, okay, I get to this point. Cross use means you can use this with other types of weapons, SMGs, things like that. It allows you, so even if you're an SMG user, you can come over to talents, into rifles, you can learn that rifle talent and then apply it to your SMGs. It just costs more for that, okay? So that is your cross use. We're going to go ahead and make this stuff, not that color. I'm going to make it red. I'll fix that later again. I kind of have to get done with the talents before I could see all of them and make those decisions. And then we're going to go ahead and grab that summary text right here. Of course, I'm not going to grab it. Right, there we go. I'm going to paste this in here. All right. When attacking, let's see. So shooting center mass will have to be declared on the attack roll. Okay. When declaring an attack from a rifle, you may choose to fire center mass. All right, which is kind of cool because, like, if you know people that are in the military, they will understand this concept. Like, oh, firing center mass. Okay, that makes sense. All right. And I say this because I was a primary marksmanship instructor for the Marine Corps. All right, which is something I'm very proud of. Not a big gun nut like I am, but not like some of my friends. Okay, there's always somebody that's a bigger fish, right? That's just one of those things. Okay, so let's see. I gained. That's strange. I can hear myself now, and I wasn't intending to. All right, let's take a look real quick. I muted this. Again, this is something I'm still trying to work through, is the streaming. So, let me see here. I guess I could disconnect. Connect. Strange. Just strange. Why stuff happens. Alright, let's try this. Alright, test 1, 2, there we go. Okay. Alright, and what I'll do is cut this down. Always something, right? I'm such a boot streamer. Alright. You know what? I'm going to cut it back to the way I had it before because I like that way, and I'll figure this out on another day. Yeah, all the way through. There we go. Test 1, 2, perfect. Alright, and I'm going to disconnect out of this. Always something. Limitations of technology. I mean, there's a good lesson to learn here, too. Alright, so. And, wow, I'm still hearing myself. That's fantastic. Okay, take this off. Alright, much better. Now I don't hear myself. What I'm going to do is kick this back to desktop and close this down. We'll get back into this. Alright, fair enough. Alright, you guys should all be able to hear me according to this. I'll go ahead and check my mic real quick. Test 1, 2, test 1, 2. Really? Test 1, 2. Hello? There we go. Okay, cool. All right, now all that ridiculousness is done. I apologize for that. Technological difficulty. That's wild. I have no idea what's going on. It's like it just suddenly decided to stop working how I set it up. But I'm gonna move on. So right now I know my voice is working because I can hear it and I can see it on OBS. So happy days. I will kick things and perform percussive maintenance after. Alright. So when declaring an attack from a rifle, and it's important here that I bold these, any ones that have cross use has a bold character because you actually replace it with, you know, another thing. So when declaring an attack from a rifle, you may choose to fire center mass. Attacks from rifles rifle may always choose to roll a okay. Here we go. If you do not roll hit location. The hit is assumed to roll a 6. No hit location adjustment is allowed. So there are a lot of abilities. Hey, welcome to the stream. If you're just joining us, go ahead and drop a message in the chat. I'm super excited to have you. All right. With that being said, I'm right now I'm going over what I'm talking about GunCraze, right? Which GunCraze is a tabletop role-playing game that's currently in development. And right now why I'm streaming is to get people's input, right? So I want to hear what you got to say about this high action tactical tabletop role-playing game. All right. This is a detailed semi-realistic role-playing game. All right, a lot of research has been done into some of the numbers. All right, there's this goes all the way from what I like to call postmodern. It's not really the right word. Postmodern all the way to sci-fi. There are several GunCraze eras. All right, where can you learn about that? All right, you're gonna head over to GunCraze.net, and from GunCraze.net you'll be able to learn all about GunCraze. Okay, so there's several videos to learn from. There's a link to the Patreon, so if you wanted to provide that financial support to help me attend events, all right, not $1 of what goes to this Patreon goes to my pocket. I have a normal job from that. GunCraze supports itself by donations, and then I put a little bit of my extra money into it, of course, but not too much. Just allowance money, really. All right, not trying to break the house, but the game is great. I look forward to, if you do subscribe, what do you get? Let's kind of walk into that one real quick for you. All right, if you subscribe, what you get is as soon as you head up to the front page, you're going to get the current working rule book, so edition Alpha 28, which is like a month or two old. You're going to get a character builder, which is actually available on GunCraze.net. You can download that. It's a little outdated, but it's still fun to play with. You can sit there and build several different characters and feel out how building a character is. All right. There's a little tutorial on there to help do that as well. The GunCraze character sheet, right? So you'll get that. Pretty snazzy character sheet that was made up by a supporter. All right, you'll get GunCraze Street 1 Night City is a table. It would be like you could you could print it and lay it out and play on it. It's a gaming mat. You can also get that from GunCraze.net free, because again, one of the concepts of GunCraze is low cost entry, right? I'm not trying to get you to spend $100 to play a game. All right, because I don't want that to happen to me. I want to just get in a game and have fun without feeling like I'm breaking my account on it. All right. That being said, GunCraze Miniature Battles is also in here, right? So you'll get the current, already on Amazon, GunCraze Miniature Battles. What is that? It's a skirmish tabletop game that uses most of the rules from the GunCraze role-playing game, so they're interchangeable. You don't have to learn two systems. It's one system. All right, and then there's a whole lot more that goes into that. I'm going to stop out of that real quick because I'm already ADD. I'm going to go off on a tangent, all right? Moving through, you're going to have the Book 1 Days of Reckoning Campaign Guidebook, all right? That is a work-in-progress campaign guidebook to walk you through how to run a GunCraze Days of Reckoning campaign, which is the first era of GunCraze. All right, you're also going to get Cyberpunk Barn Warehouse map. You'll get the Gunmaster's Guide, which is like really not a lot in it right now, but there's going to be a ton in it later. And a Cyber Saga 2 Missions Guide. This actually goes with GunCraze Miniature Battles as well. So there's a bunch of things that you get just for subscribing, so I look forward to checking those out. All right, you get the current version of the rulebook, and if you just hang out with me and come by every night, you're going to see a lot of the rulebook anyway. We're going to walk through a lot of concepts. I'd love to answer any of your questions. Like if you had a question about how something works in the game, I will definitely take the time to veer off on that, because I think you'll find it very exciting. GunCraze has a lot of great rules, and it is a very good game. I know I'm biased because I'm the creator, but that being said, I know this because my friends and so forth have told me, and my even my play testers, right? They tell me the same. Now, the maybe if there's a downside is people really like their D&D, and that's great too. All right, I like D&D. However, in the second era of GunCraze, the rise of the corporations, there will be a fantasy spin-off. That's just I've already announced it in an old post on Facebook. You'd have to go back and look, but I'll show you that at another time. That being said, right now what we're doing is for character creation, and as you level up, you gain talent points. Your talent points, you can spend them on talents, which make your character better, arguably much better, and more. And you have many more tools to pick from during a session. So right now we're working on center mass, and we're going to go ahead and close this down here in a second. After I read it, when declaring attack from rifle, you may choose to fire center mass. If you do not roll a hit location if the attack hits. How about that? The hit is assumed to roll a 6. No hit location adjustment is allowed. Very important. So hit location. GunCraze also uses hit locations. All right. 1 is your left leg. 2 is your right leg. 3 is your left arm. 4 is your right arm. 5 through 9 are your torso, and 10 is your head. Okay, that's just a general character. If you have a shield, some of those points are covered up. All right, just by virtue of you having a shield. Okay, so that's how kind of the hit locations work. Well, there's an ability, a perk that you can choose called hit location. You can choose it twice during your career, and that would allow you to adjust every hit location roll you make by 4. All right, so that could be very potentially helpful. There are other perks that offset that and make that, do I really want to take this where I could take this other perk? So we'll talk about perks at a later time. But this kind of case is, hey, you're just aiming center mass. That's all you're trying to hit. You're not going to use hit location in any way, shape, or form for this. All right, cross use replaces the rifle with the ranged weapon. That being said, we're going to go ahead and close out center mass. And we're going to move on to cover fire. So cover fire is another one that we came up with. It is cross use on all 3 levels. All right. So we're going to go ahead and grab a cross use talent, paste it in here. All right. See what I did? Where there's no space there, that's not helpful. I want there to be a space there. It makes it easier to manage. All right. So cover fire. All right, cover fire. So I want to build just this one first, and then I'll copy it and to make its improved and mastered versions, okay? So some talents have better versions to them, and they step up. All right. So let's see here. So this one again, the red text I'll fill in later. I'm not going to sit here and bore you by typing that stuff in. Basically, it's just going to be some flavor text to explain the talent. All right. So center mass, did I even get that right? Yeah, rifles 1. Now cover fire, this is going to be rifles 2. All right, so rifles 2, and it also requires double tap. All right, so it requires another talent to even buy this talent. All right, let's look at double tap real quick. Double tap, so double tap and rifles 2. I want to make sure that double tap, so double tap is range combat 3. So you're definitely going to have enough to put 2 into rifles and get double tap at the same time. When you get double tap, this is something you could get as well if you have the talent points left to do it. All right. So when you earn talent points, they go by the specialization that you spend them on. So if you put a rank into body, you're going to get body talent points. If you spend a rank into quickness, you're going to get quickness talent points. Ranged combat and melee combat are the other 2 that gain talent points. Non-combat does not gain talent points. Non-combat all goes towards your skills, and they go to buffing your skills, okay? So there's that. All right, moving on. All right, so we're talking about cover fire again. All right, the concept is gain an extra out of turn semi-attack while holding when armed with a rifle, okay? And then cross rifle replaces rifle with ranged weapon. All right. So an out of turn semi-automatic attack. What are out of turn attacks? Out of turn attacks are like attacks of opportunity from D&D. If you ever heard of that before, you should have. Basically, like a guy run bys you, you gain what's an out of turn attack called an attack of opportunity. The same thing applies in this game. There's a lot of chances for you to play when it's not your turn. Like, that's a big deal for GunCraze. You get to play when it's not your turn. So you just shot an enemy. You made a plan. Now it comes around to his turn. You didn't kill him. Now he's going to shoot at you. Well, GunCraze uses opposed rolling. All right. And I'm going to show you a little quick video to kind of describe that. So just stand by for that.
Attacking and defending in GunCraze. Demonstrated on Wartop, an exciting new virtual tabletop available on Steam. Sanctifier attacks Punisher with his minigun. In GunCraze, both players roll D10s in opposed tests, keeping both sides actively engaged. Sanctifier rolls a 10, while Punisher gets a dismal roll of 1. Sanctifier adds his attack bonus, and Punisher, without cover, must use his evasion defense. The result is 16 versus 1. Sanctifier hits his mark with ease. Learn more at guncraze.net.
Okay, so that kind of explains a little bit about how attacking and the opposed rolling works. It is one of the strong features of GunCraze, or the opposed rolls. There's many different types of opposed rolls you can make, especially when it's your skill versus somebody else's skill. So opposed rolling is just a great thing. And anytime it ties, it goes to the defender, or it goes to the person that would be like the defender of the skill check, if you will. All right. In some cases, that the skill, it would mean that you almost got caught. If you were like doing a stealth skill and somebody was doing a perception skill, basically, to see you, and you guys tied, well, he almost saw you, but he didn't. So it goes again to the defender, the person who would be negatively impacted by the fail. All right. That being said, we're going to keep moving here. So cover fire uses 2 talent points or 3 talent points for the cross use, just as we mentioned earlier. All right, I'm going to leave the combo talents red. All right, when declaring an attack from a rifle, you may, let's see, nope. We are going to go ahead and steal this. So anybody in the game can hold fire, or basically hold their turn, and it's just called holding. Or you can move and hold, which is called a partial hold. All right. That being said, anybody could do that and then interrupt the turn to try to interrupt somebody's turn. You don't automatically do it like in some games. In older D&D, you would just declare, I'm holding for the situation to happen. All right. And then if that situation didn't exactly happen, you never got to interrupt. But in GunCraze, you can just hold the hold. And then when something happens, you can try to interrupt somebody's turn. And you have to roll off against them to go before them. All right, it's called a reaction test. And you do it, it's opposed. If you make it, you can go and do your turn. All right. And there's rules for that support that as well. So cover fire. Let's see. Gain an extra out of turn. All right. When armed with a rifle and whenever you choose to hold or partial hold, you gain an extra out of turn semi-attack. Now that's really the rule, and then we would highlight rifle so that when you look at the cost use thing, it says replaces rifle with ranged weapon. Okay. So that being said, let's see, rifles, double tap, control burst, 2-weapon fighting when armed with a rifle. Yep. All right. So that's basically it for cover fire. It's I'm going to go ahead and make the next version down, which is cover fire improved. All right, so I have improved cover fire now. You know, the requirements for this are going to be rifles 4, and now because the other one had that as requirement, so you're going to need cover fire. You have to buy that one first before you buy this one. Okay. All right. That being said, rifles 4 cover fire. The cost is going to go up to 3 and 6. All right. And basically the rule here is you're going to, let's see, paste this in. All right, gain a +2 to your season initiative when making out of turn attacks with a rifle. Okay. So that's actually not the right wording. All right. You seize the initiative to make out of turn attacks. All right. So that would be, that's not a very good way. I'll have to change this here in a second. So the real goal is when you are holding, you gain a +2 talent bonus to your seize the initiative roll. Period. All right. Whoa. It helps if you hit the right button, right? All right. So when you're holding with a rifle, you gain a +2 talent bonus to your seize the initiative roll. All right. And replaces rifle with ranged weapon, which is, I'm going to shorten that. All right. I'm going to fix this real quick because it won't take about a second. Game +4 to choose initiative roll, really, when armed with a rifle. All right. English. All right. Here we go. When you're holding the rifle, you get a +2 bonus to your season initiative roll. Bam. All right. So it's cover fire, and yep. I am not actually a fan how this rule is actually completely different than this rule. All right, so I'm thinking about turning cover fire, kind of rolling that backwards and making cover fire this. And I just have to make a note about, let me see something real quick. All right, so the goal is, I need a good name for a talent. All right, so what I'm going to do that. I know I am, because I don't like it when rules completely change between their improved and, I don't mind it adding. Like, I could do that. I could say, when you're holding with a rifle, and I'll be okay with this because then it links together in some way, shape, or form. All right. When you're holding a rifle, you get a +2 talent bonus to your season initiative roll. Additionally, see, now you can go this. Additionally, if you successfully seize the initiative, you gain an extra out of turn semi-attack. Or, well, if you may make 2 semi-automatic attacks. Or just semi-attacks. I got to think about how that wording goes and how that feels. All right. So you're holding with your rifle, and a guy runs out, and you go to seize the initiative from him. You roll, and you get the +2 bonus to seize the initiative. You succeed. Whenever you successfully seize the initiative, you may you may use double tap. That's really what it comes down to. Because normally when you break initiative, you get 1 attack. All right, you gain 1 attack. You don't get actually, that's clown talk. When you break initiative, if you're full round, you get to do everything. So that is a bogus thing altogether. So what I can do is I'm just going to scale that back to this. Get rid of the double tap requirement and stop smoking crack. I'm joking. Okay. That's really going to be it. What I'll do is when you're holding with the rifle, you get a +2 bonus to seize initiative roll. All right. So I'm going to take this, paste it here. The next one's going to be +4. And the next one's going to be +6. All right. So that scales that up, makes this one that's, I mean, a +6 is a huge roll. Like, I got you. I have cover fire mastered. You're good. Like, there's no way I get a +6 bonus to beat somebody, to shoot them. That's huge. All right. So that's kind of the goal. That's what you want to go for. All right. Therefore, I really feel like that's a good fix for that. And what for cover fire improve, it's still gonna have the same requirement. It's still gonna need cover fire, the base one. Rifles 4, same cost. All right, and when you're holding rifle, so as cover fire, on rifle you gain a +4 talent bonus to your seized initiative roll. All right, and then this one would go same as cover fire. That's actually going to be locked in because that's how it's written. All right, and now I'll copy it one more time. We'll do the mastered version now. Okay, so this is another talent that you could choose in the list as you go. All right, 6. Cover fire improved is a requirement. All right, cost 3 talent points. No, this costs 4 or 8 talent points for the crosscast. That's a huge cost, but that's a big bonus. That's a huge bonus. I mean, if you want to take this bonus and apply it, like kind of convert it to a D&D rule, that's a +12 bonus. Like, that's crazy. But GunCraze is crazy. No, it's amazing. So that's just all right. I'm gonna just kind of cleaning this up here, even though I'm going to shift it again. All right, so the cover fires are essentially done at this point. Looking at the numbers, they look right. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and take all of cover fire, and I'm going to go ahead and black that out, saying it's done. I am going to take... So cover fire is cool, right? Because if you get cover fire, you can use it with other things too, like a bow. It's a ranged weapon. You seize the initiative and you're shooting somebody with a bow instead. But you gained it from doing this, all right? So so there is a comparative a talent, and I'll go ahead and read that to you right now. It's comparative. It's improved suppression. All right. So +2 to your reaction test to attack during to seize the initiative. All right. So I before E, except after C. I don't remember C's being one of the words, but I'm just saying. Adds 2 to your reaction test to seize the initiative during suppressive fire. Suppressive fire is something you do with automatic fire. This talent might actually find itself moved away to support weapons, but we'll get there when we get there. That being said, no, it's probably going to stay there because SMGs actually capitalize on it with enhanced suppression and extreme suppression, kind of help build off of that to gain even more bonuses, and then you can spend cross use to go back. And again, that suppression, I could add it here, and I might, but I'm not going to do it right now. I do like the fact that like anybody could take it up here, but then why is it separated? And it has. All right, you know what? You sold me. I'm going to do it. You talked me out of it. I'm going to go ahead and move it real quick. It's not going to take too long. All right, Control X. Come down here. Control V. All right, so range combat 4 was the rule, but it's going to be SMGs 2. All right, and what I'll do is I will take this and I'll paste it here, and I'll get the longer one and paste it here. All right, and I'll deal with the lineups and how it lays out later. So this is an SMGs thing with cross-use functionality, which is cool. Because if you think about SMGs and their ability to just lay down hails of fire, this is perfect. All right. There we go. There we go. That'll work. That'll work. So you get a couple points in SMGs right off the bat if you want to use that SMG weapon. That can work for that. All right. Now it's important to note too, during a campaign, the Gunmaster may start you off with a semi-automatic SMG, and you'll have to find a way or find somebody that can turn it into an automatic weapon, which is going to be your armor, your weaponsmith, basically. So that's a skill that's going to be in here. We're going to make sure that that is something that's on the list to get added. I'm writing it down real quick. Turn weapon auto. Of course, the downside of being an automatic SMG user is if you're having restrictive rounds, if your gunmaster is using restricted ammo, you're going to run out of ammo if you unload. If you do what you can do, you potentially can run out of ammunition, and you're going to have to spend a lot of time cleaning up ammo off of bodies to refill your magazines. All right. Again, that depends on, if you have Gunmaster that tracks ammo, he should. It's kind of exciting, especially during the Days of Reckoning campaign. The concept is to keep you kind of broke all the time, all right? It'd be like playing Resident Evil. There you go. You always don't have enough ammo, right? Unless you use the Game Shark. But that's a whole nother thing. All right. So, moving on. What I do have to do now is, because I brought over a general talent for... that's handguns. Okay. So I was about to say, there's no way. Improved aim, improved suppression. All right, I'm going to cut that out of here. Wow, hold up. How about we grab the whole thing here? Can be useful. Gonna go to the SMG area. It starts with an I. So I'm gonna go ahead and put it improved IMNN. Yep. All right, I'm gonna paste it here. All right. I'm gonna go ahead and grab this. Fix this here. All right, range combat. We already said it's gonna be SMGs 2. Okay, and it's italics. Okay, and the cost was going to be 1 talent point, and range combat, and not 6, but I'll change it here real quick. 2 talent points for cross use. So you get SMGs rank 2, you spend 2 talent points, you can use this ability with all your weapons. Okay, when you have, let's see here, go so far with an SMG. You gain a +2 talent bonus to any reaction roll needed to determine if you seize the initiative to make an attack. Spread from to seize the initiative. It's really what it is. All right. Okay, that'll work. Improve suppression. So now we've moved it, and I think it's great. I hope you guys think the same. So what I'm going to do is just clear this other one out, the entire row. And heck yeah, I don't know if this matters to you like it matters to me. So Smoking Barrels fits once again. I don't know if I'm going to be able to continue to have it fit, but I need to go back and fix that. Fix all this red stuff. Red means I have to get to it at some point, right? All right, that's great. Okay, moving on. Let's see what time we got. 52 minutes. All right. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take a minute to stop and walk through you guys on GunCraze Miniature Battles. All right. So I'm just going to save this and drop these down. All right. So GunCraze Miniature Battles. Let's talk about that. Going to head over to GunCraze.net, and you can head over to GunCraze Miniature Battles. It's on the tab over here. All right. So this is the rule book. Okay. An action-packed skirmish game that brings the intensity of combat to your tabletop, powered by the GunCraze Action Tabletop Role-Playing System, or Gators. All right, this game pits players against each other in heart-pounding combat scenarios. So this is a skirmish game, all right, and it shares rules with the role-playing game. All right, so what does it have? All right, it shares rules with the role-playing game, as we already talked. It also has free versatile character cards, which are listed right here underneath. You can hit the character card library. You can go to a section and you can see what characters are there that you can play with. Okay, these rules are free and available to you. You can print them out, take a screenshot with your phone, and now you have the rules for a character. Okay, heroes. All right, these are all the heroes in the group. Hero is a major faction. Okay, so here's all the heroes, and this is the faction card. All right, so villains have their own rules. All right, that guy's a monster. He's a power level 30. All right, so keep in mind when you play GunCraze, your power level may adjust as you level up, but you start out roughly around between 15 to 18. Okay, as a matter of fact, I got a video to show you about that. It's not too long. Just stand by.
GunCraze rolling starting specialization scores. We begin by rolling 5 6-sided dice, adding up the total. If the total is less than 16, you may re-roll. You may re-roll until you get 16 or higher. This roll is a 16 and it passes. If you roll higher than 20, a dice that rolled higher than a 3 must be changed to a 1. Now the total is 18. This allows for characters of power level 16 through 25. Alternatively, your character may choose this standard score array for their starting specialization scores, which builds a power level 18 character. Learn more about GunCraze at guncraze.net.
Crazy cough. All right. So basically that's how you roll your character. The concept behind that is so your power level could be between 16 and 25. If you get closer to 25, hey, you're just really lucky. That's great. But if you could see this guy right here, he's power level 30, so he's much more powerful. Now, we were talking about hit locations earlier, and that a 6 being kind of center. I might need to adjust that to a 7 looking at this guy, because when I have multiple arms, 6 ends up being one of the right arms. So 7 might be the right answer for center mass, okay? So we can just look at this guy. He is a monster. Look at those amount of hit points. Now, to be fair, I killed this guy, power level 30. I killed him with her, a power level 15 character. What I did, I blew off his arm and then shot in the armhole and killed him. All right, so where his arm was, my character was able to shoot in that hole and kill that monstrous guy. And he's a big model too, all right? So he's a nasty Mamba Jamba. So that being said, GunCraze Miniature Battles has these cards. So where do you get GunCraze Miniature Battles? All right, you just head to Amazon. All right, check out GunCraze, and you'll find it on here. All right, again, this is just get you a rule book. All right, it is a $10 rule book, which is low cost. All right, you can use any miniatures in your collection, and you can use any cards to represent those miniatures. All right, so you can use fantasy miniatures and say, hey, I'm going to play as one of these characters. All right, and that's fine. You can, you can use these. These are the rules. All right, the picture is just a picture. Okay. You always, sometimes, you want it to look alike, and that's fine too, but just talk with your partner and say, hey, you can use dice to represent these guys. All right. However, I recommend actually getting the miniatures, and you can get those miniatures if you go down on the link on the page, Papsikels Miniatures. If you have a 3D printer, you could 3D print many of these miniatures by heading over to Papsikels. But let's say you don't have a 3D printer. Not everybody does, right? So you can go ahead and go where to order, and you'll see a link here to Alie Cats Crafts and stuff, and they're really good at printing stuff out and getting it out to you. So go ahead and hit them up, and it's an Etsy page. Let them know I sent you, and then you can get those beautiful miniatures sent right to your house, so you can have great games of GunCraze, low cost, right? It's all about low cost entry. What else do you need? You'll need some dice. Most of you have dice already, and additionally to that, you need maybe a map to play on. Well, you could just draw one on a grid, or you can come here to guncraze.net, and there's maps that you can just download right off the page and print. All right, just print them in black and white if you want to save some colored ink. Okay, and you just tape them together, glue them together, and have your battle right there. Throw down a couple toy cars to get in the way, and that works like that. Okay, now if you do want an actual mat, you can go to the Printify store. All right, we have links on the stream here as well, and you can see our mats here. They're only $18. They're large, very large, gorgeous maps. Of course, I don't have one immediately next to me, which is unusual because I usually do. But yeah, they're big maps. All right, so obviously those are 1-inch grids, so you can use your imagination about how big that is. All right, you can buy that right off of the Printify page, and now you have the map, you have the miniatures, you have dice, you have the rule book, and now you're playing, and potentially be playing under $10. I mean, you can't get that a lot. You're gonna have to use some imagination with that, but hey, if you've been around long enough, you know how to use that imagination. All right, You can do printable little character cards. You can, a folded piece of paper, a folded cardboard. There's so many things you could do. All right. So that being said, we've just come up on our hour. I'm really glad you guys stopped by to watch, and I look forward to more. It's going to be coming back on Friday. So we're going to be streaming on Friday. Let's just so you could see the. Look at, I got all this stuff here. Always stuff hiding on my desktop. This is the way life is sometimes. All right. Let's see. We'll get this for you here in a second. Okay, so there's the stream times. All right, so tomorrow, Friday night, it's going to go from 10 p.m. until whenever. All right, so I look forward to seeing you there. And then on Saturday, it'll be from 12 to 2 p.m. All right, Sunday there's no stream, but we'll be back on Monday. So this is the schedule. I look forward to seeing you guys. Take care. Have a great evening. Thank you for your time.